I want to take a moment to address the illegal walkouts that are occurring at prison facilities all across the state of New York. Let me be clear. The illegal actions being taken by a number of individuals is putting the entire state at risk. We need them back to work. This must end immediately. My administration has worked tirelessly over the last 9 days to resolve this. In fact, we've brought in mediators requested by the union. The mediation started yesterday. It continues again today. We want to find out what the issue is, because the individuals who've walked out in an unsanctioned strike, unapproved by the union, have yet to tell us the issues. We've done everything we can to encourage them to get back to work. They know they're in violation of the New York State Taylor Law. They also are in violation of a temporary restraining order to return to work. We offered an amnesty period where they could go back to work, no questions asked. We also repealed a staffing memo that had been viewed as controversial. We also suspended portions of the HALT law, which requires a certain amount of time out and other activities that we do not have the staffing to implement. I've also had to deploy 6,500 members of the National Guard to do the jobs of those who've walked out. That means that they've been taken either from their homes or critical assignments, whether they're protecting assets in New York City or elsewhere against terrorism. We have tried hard to end this. I've had conversations with many, many leaders, but we need a good faith effort to resolve this, starting now. I'm prepared to do that. I understand there's a lot of frustration about the long hours. I have long stood with the corrections officers of this state, more than I'm going to guess any other governor, and say these conditions are hard. I understand that. We need more of you on the job. I get that. But we have a situation right now which is absolutely untenable, especially the fact that there were prisons left unguarded. Think about that. The incarcerated population was left unguarded. There were people from other unions, people who work in healthcare, and the commissary, who were left unprotected by these actions. Thank God for the National Guard that are in there doing work that they never anticipated, and the condition inside the prisons is stabilized. We've had to start legal proceedings against these individuals. Not something I ever would want to do, but I have a law to enforce. We've also let them know that if you are striking, your AWL, you no longer secure the right to have health benefits from the state. That goes away. Your legal proceedings have started. Your legal representation is not covered by the union because this is not sanctioned by the union. They will not pay for this. And I am so grateful to the law-abiding correction officers who are still showing up and want to get back to work in a normal setting. We will get there as soon as possible. These are difficult, difficult jobs. I know that. I know that. But people took an oath of office to protect the public. We have to get back to ensuring that that oath is kept. There's an enormous strain on our system right now. I encourage everyone to come back to work. We hear you with respect to the long hours. I'm working hard to address that. But we also have, as you've heard here in the city of Albany, recruitment issues. These are hard jobs. Not everybody's signing up for them. We're doing the very best we can. The prison population has declined by half over the last number of years. We're working hard to consolidate, making sure that we are maximizing every bed in our facilities. In fact, we're transporting members of the incarcerated population as we speak to take them to other facilities where I can protect them more readily. So that's where we are. That's the status. We're very engaged and look forward to a resolution as soon as possible. Any questions?
Governor,
Questions on docs
the situation at Collins, the doc said that the prison inmates were all transferred out. That seemed to happen very suddenly. What exactly happened there? Why was Collins, how come the inmates are no longer at Collins?
I don't think they've all been transferred out.
No, that's right.
That's only a small percentage of them. 40 out of 800?
We started with 40. There are additionals, and we have transferred yesterday for safety. It's all about the safety of the individuals, both who are there as the safety of the people who are still working in those facilities, primarily civilian, with the support of the National Guard.
Here's what I had to do. I have no one protecting the incarcerated population. 15,000 people walk off their jobs. I need to start talking to my county holding centers, who has space, what other prisons have space that I can make sure people are protected in. What is happening out of state? Do I have other research? I have had to do a whole of government approach to solving this, and one very simple one is to transfer people from facilities where I can congregate more people, where I do have protection, where I do have guards, where I do have the National Guard in larger facilities. So it is not singling out Collins. It is going to happen everywhere. I have to make sure this population and all the people who go in there doing their jobs are protected.
And Governor, you said you don't know what they want. It's been 9 days. Do you have any idea what the striking officers want? And it's 9 days too long.
Yes. We offered them amnesty after a day or two. They could have gone back. You made your point. Thank you. We hear you. I get it. The hours and shifts are too long. But when they're not represented by a union, and I'm negotiating with a union, I'm asking the union, what do they want? I mean, it can't be pay and benefits, because you literally just negotiated a very generous package less than a year ago. I mean, we went from hazard pay being $200 to $1,000. New recruits get $6,500. This was a package that they all agreed to less than a year ago. So I don't believe it's about benefits and pay. I'm not aware that it is. We suspended parts of the HALT Act. We rescinded a memo where it was determined, because of our shortages, that 70% would constitute the equivalency of 100% staffing. That was gone within a few days. We knew that that was perhaps instigating some of this. So we have taken steps to calm the situation down, provide them what we're able to provide, and working now to find out how we can have shorter shifts for them. And if I'm one of their families, I know how hard it is, especially when because we are in a desperate situation, that you may have a shift that you thought was 12, it went to 16, it may even go to 24. That is not acceptable to me. It is not good for them, their families, or our state. But right now, I have to backfill 15,000 jobs. Again, thank God for the National Guard.
Is the amnesty offer still on the table?
No.
Has anyone been arrested? And if not,
The proceedings have started. I think we have 380 people on the first list through the Attorney General's office. They're being served by state police as we speak. This is in violation of law.
Okay. Governor, how many more people do you intend to name in the lawsuit? How many people?
We're doing this in batches. You know, I don't know. Do we know how many more are coming, Marcos? I mean, we're just, administratively, it takes some time. The Attorney General's office has to run conflicts checks. That takes some time. Our state police have to identify locations, where to serve process. So it started over the weekend. We had hoped that when the first few realized what's happening here, that could bring people back, because this is a very serious matter. But if it had no effect, then we're going to continue on the process we're on right now.
And how are those batches being prioritized right now? Is it facility by facility? Is it?
Do you know that, Marcos? Yeah. This is Marcos Soler, the Deputy Secretary for Public Safety.
So what we are doing is identifying with the superintendents in each facility what are the people who are driving this illegal strike, as the governor has indicated. What is important for us is right now, as the governor says, 9 out of 10 correctional officers are on this illegal strike, and we will go to get to every single one of them until they return to work. That's our priority, because the safety of those who work in the facility, of the incarcerated individuals, and the large communities cannot be compromised at this point.
Thanks, Marcos. Nick, no, next, Bob, you got a question.
One at a time.
On the issue of public safety, you know, you've repeatedly said is your top priority
Right.
for the state. The wives of about 15 correctional officers, including, and there was an officer who was there, said yesterday that easily their top issue is safety. It's not about the money, it's about safety for them and the inmates. What do you say to that, and the fact that they are saying that is what they care about the most?
Whose safety are we talking about?
They're saying both the inmates and their spouses.
Leaving almost the entire incarcerated population and the members of our state workforce who feed them and provide medical care and mental health services, leaving them alone, unprotected, is not my definition of public safety.